Welcome to Concrete Block, your go-to podcast for in-depth analysis and discussion of the latest news and current events. I'm your host, Walter, and we're excited to dive into today's top stories. As we begin, let's take a closer look at the ongoing situation in the Middle East, where a recent agreement between Israel and Hamas has sparked hopes for a potential ceasefire. But with the devastating effects of the conflict still fresh, attention is now turning to the massive reconstruction efforts needed to rebuild the war-torn Gaza Strip. According to reports, German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephil has proposed hosting a reconstruction conference together with Egypt, aimed at outlining a political framework for the Gaza Strip and ultimately working towards a two-state solution. This move has been met with interest from European countries, but also criticism from Israel, which views the Paris meeting as unnecessary and harmful. To better understand the complexities of this situation, let's break down the key players involved. The German government has expressed its commitment to helping rebuild Gaza, citing humanitarian, security, and migration policy reasons. Meanwhile, Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs Gideon Saar has voiced concerns about European interference, particularly from France, which recently recognized a Palestinian state. It's essential to acknowledge the historical context and sensitivities surrounding this issue. Germany's responsibility for the genocide of European Jews during World War II has led to a strong commitment to Israel's security and existence. However, this also means that any German involvement in reconstruction efforts must be carefully balanced to avoid exacerbating tensions. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's crucial to consider multiple perspectives and approaches. The United States, under President Donald Trump's 20-point plan, seems to have relegated Europe to a minor role in the initial steps towards peace. However, European countries like Germany may still play a significant part in the reconstruction process, particularly when it comes to providing humanitarian aid and supporting long-term stability in the region. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that the path forward will require careful diplomacy, cooperation, and a deep understanding of the historical and cultural nuances at play. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're taking a deep dive into the world of politics and current events. Our middle segment today is all about the ongoing government shutdown and its far-reaching effects. We've got a fascinating conversation to share with you, courtesy of CBS News' Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. The show featured an interview with Congressman Jim Himes, who shed some light on the situation in Connecticut, where many federal employees are feeling the pinch of the shutdown. According to Congressman Himes, the shutdown is having a significant impact on his home state, with many people struggling to make ends meet. He shared a story about visiting the National Guard at Windsor Locks Airport, where 500 Connecticut National Guard members were deploying to the Middle East without knowing when they would receive their next paycheck. The conversation also touched on the issue of paying the military during the shutdown. While President Trump has suggested that he might repurpose funds to pay the military, Congressman Himes expressed skepticism about this plan, citing the need for legislation to make it happen. It's worth noting that Senator Chris Murphy, also from Connecticut, appeared on the same show and emphasized the importance of bipartisan negotiations to end the shutdown. He pointed out that Republicans are boycotting negotiations with the House, which is currently on recess. As the shutdown continues, it's essential to consider the human impact on federal employees and their families. The situation is complex, with both parties blaming each other for the impasse. We'll continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, we want to hear from you. How do you think the government shutdown should be resolved? Should lawmakers prioritize finding a compromise, or do you think one party should give in to the other's demands? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag #KeyConcreteBlock. Stay tuned for our final story of the day right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a story that's been making headlines around the world. Tensions are running high between Afghanistan and Pakistan after a series of clashes along their shared border. According to reports, Afghan forces have captured 25 Pakistani army posts, leaving 30 soldiers wounded and an undisclosed number of casualties. The Taliban government's chief spokesman, Zabihullah Mujahid, has stated that the situation on all official borders and de facto lines is under control and illegal activities have been largely prevented. However, Pakistan has condemned the attack, with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif saying that the country's army gave a befitting reply to Afghanistan's provocations and destroyed several of their posts. Regional powers, including Saudi Arabia and Qatar, have called for restraint and calm, urging both sides to engage in dialogue and avoid further escalation. The situation is complex, with both countries having long-standing disputes over territory and security concerns. Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of harboring militant groups, while Afghanistan denies these claims and says it does not allow its territory to be used against other countries. It's essential to note that the conflict has significant implications for regional stability, particularly given the recent tensions between India and Pakistan. The international community is watching closely, with many calling for a peaceful resolution to the situation. As we close out today's show, it's clear that the situation between Afghanistan and Pakistan is volatile and multifaceted. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's crucial to approach this story with nuance and understanding, recognizing the complexities and challenges faced by both countries. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.